5 years in the UAE. Describe the UAE in 3 words. Number 1.
Innovative.
Perfect. Number 2.
Resilience.
Perfect. Number 3.
A country that looks into the future.
Hi. You touched me with that one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So it's yet another episode of the Dubai Experiences, and on today's video, on today's episode, we have Mr. Terence. My name is Naomi T. I'm live and direct from the City of Light, the City of Blinks, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. See, if you've been shacking up with me, what are you waiting? Join my family, go to my YouTube channel and click on the red subscribe button. I don't know where it is it left or right? But there's a red subscribe button there. It's for free. Click on it. I do videos on lifestyle, travel, and small talks. So my small talks is majorly on the Dubai Experiences. I invite people on my channel to inspire others. Yes, you is watching me as an immigrant wherever you find yourself in the world. Okay, so we have Mr. Terence today. I invited him over to share his experiences. He has loads of them, and he's been in the UAE for some time. So he's here to inspire you, to give you hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So first and foremost, I really want to thank Mr. Terence. Mr. Terence, thank you so much for taking out your time to be here with me, okay? Because trust me, it's not easy with what has been going on in Dubai for the past few days. It's not easy for you to just leave your comfort zone to come and be part of this. Because sometimes, even without the issue that happened in Dubai, you do all the financial detailing of things and you invite someone and the person will just tell you, oh, I cannot make it. Yeah, you is the host, you is the organizer. It gives you some setbacks, but I'm that one person, when I'm bent for something, I do it. All right, so thank you so much for coming forward.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So as I normally do, I'll be asking you some questions and you'll be giving me your sincere responses.
Yeah.
So to make my viewers understand who Mr. Terence is, I would love you to just give a brief introduction about yourself, like who you are, where you're from, how long you've been in the UAE, and what you do for a living, if you want to disclose that.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to start by saying thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. You're welcome.
To inspire people out there. A lot of people are going through very difficult moments. I do understand that, and a lot of people are depressed, especially when you're far from home.
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit difficult and challenging for you to take on other steps in life.
Okay.
Okay, first and foremost, I am Terence Nkamto.
Okay.
I'm from the northwest region of Cameroon, specifically Bamenda.
Okay.
And I've been in the UAE for 5 years now.
Okay.
And I must say it's been 5 years of a lot to write home about.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you've heard Mr. Terence. He's been in the UAE for 5 years and he's from West Africa, particularly from Cameroon. Okay, so let's get to the next question. Why did you leave your country and why did you choose the United Arab Emirates?
First of all, I'd like to say I didn't choose the United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
When I left university in 2013, I was very fortunate to have a job with the Baptist Mission as a history teacher.
Okay.
So I was there for 2 years. Then my elder brother from South Africa came up with a business plan, and I decided to leave the job and get into business. I have always been a business oriented person from when I started growing up, and I saw that as a bigger opportunity for me. So I took on business with my elder brother, and we were doing well from the start until the crisis in the Northwest and the Southwest started. Then things didn't go as planned. So my aunt called me on a certain day and told me she has a friend who has traveled to Japan, and she's explained everything to him, what it entails to go to Japan, and she would love me to take on that journey. I had never had travel plans all my life.
Oh, really? Yeah. So you are the first person to sit here on my desk? No, the second person. Because the first person was Mr. Aaron. He said he was doing well. What is the second person to say they never had travel plans? Because most Africans, like every young African, is like, I want to go overseas to make it happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So I used to help people with documentations on traveling and all that because my other brother had been in South Africa for a very long time. But most of my friends would wonder why I help people travel and I do not have travel plans.
Yeah.
So I believed in Cameroon, and I knew that back home I could do a lot. So when the crisis started, my aunt came up with this suggestion. I hesitantly took a decision concerning that. Then I embarked on the journey. I had to do a passport. I had to look for admission in Japan, and that was where, once I didn't get admission, I felt very bad about it.
Okay.
And then I became so determined to leave Cameroon.
Okay.
My elder sister visited the UAE some months back, and she told me, yeah, from my experience, though I went there for a visit, I like the place. It's a place of so many opportunities, and being the person that you are, I would really recommend and I strongly encourage that you take on this journey. It's quite easy to get there. I can talk with some few friends to get you a visa, and we can see how to manage that.
Okay.
So she encouraged me from her side.
Okay.
And I think the very first thing she told me was, you've been driving for so long, you're a very good driver, so getting to Dubai, it's going to be easy for you to pick up a driving job.
Okay.
And you can start from there.
Yeah.
So when she told me that, I was quite motivated to take on the move. So I told her, okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead with this one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's get to the next one. How did you find yourself here? Okay, you said your auntie traveled and she came back. She told you about the United Arab Emirates. So how did you get the visa? Who made the visa? How long did you have to wait for the visa to be out? And how did you get your flight?
Okay, so my elder sister, the same person who did everything for her when she was coming to visit, she contacted this guy, and the guy did everything in 2-3 days. Okay. It was from long time. I've known this guy ever since after he did my visa. I've known him. I came to the UAE, I met him. We've been doing a lot of things together, and I think that's the one true genuine person I've seen here in the UAE. He doesn't tell you A and does B. He tells you the same, and he'll do the same thing he's told you. Yeah, so I think everybody that knows him would say the same thing about him. Okay. So he was very honest with me. He did tell me, okay, once you pay the money, in 2-3 days, your visa is going to be out. 2-3 days, I think I had not completed the money, so he sent me part of the visa. Okay. I think on that day I was in a taxi in Yaoundé, then he sent me part of the visa. Okay. And then I completed his money, and he sent me the full visa. Okay. So he sent me to his mom to go and give him money for the flights and all that. So I went to his mom. I had conversations with the mom, and I gave the money to her. Okay. The same day by 4 p.m. he booked a ticket for me. Okay. Yeah. All right. So perfect. All right. So we're on the next question. Your sister came to the UAE for vacation. She came back and she told you about the UAE, how there are many opportunities there. But did you take upon yourself to do any kind of research? Not really. I'd say that's one thing I didn't do, because at that time my mind was just bent on traveling. Based on everything that was happening back home, I had been through a lot of ups and downs. And my mind was all made up, and I said, okay, let me go as others have gone and made it. I'll do my best as well. Okay, she has friends here, your sister. Yeah. So you were just going with what your sister's friends have told you, that UAE is this, UAE is that, UAE is that. So this question is to ask you if the look of things was the same when you arrived, like they told you. You have to make mention of the weather condition, the accommodation, and the environment. Was it the same? Okay, I remember I had a friend. We lived in Yaoundé together while we were teaching. Okay. So he had been here at that time for 2 years. So when I told him I'm coming this side, and then the day I arrived, I sent him a message at the airport, and he told me, this is Dubai. Yeah, he told me this is Dubai. I was inside the airport. My other sister was going to come and pick me up. So when she got to the airport, we had some chats, and I had to change the CFA I had at the airport. I arrived at the airport with about 200,000 francs CFA, which I changed to pay for accommodation and all that. She had already arranged all of that. So I would say I have a totally different story from a lot of people who arrived at the airport and didn't have anyone to pick them up and didn't have any place to live in and all of that. My other sister had done all of those arrangements for me. And she gave me just options to look at them and say, okay, this is what I want. And I paid for it. Okay, perfect. So the weather, it was a sunny morning, and I was wondering, why should the sun be this hot at 7 a.m. in the morning? Okay, so let me ask, when did you come in? I came in on the 18th. I came in on the 18th of October, 2000. October is relatively a little bit chilled, eh? Oh.
when the places are becoming cold.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me, okay, sun is up October, maybe the year you came it was. You never know. Okay, so it was really very warm.
Yeah, it was really very warm. Yeah.
So let's talk about the accommodation. Was your accommodation like the beds, normal bed spaces in UAE, like where most Africans come first and find themselves?
It was a bed space.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many people?
The room I got into had 4 beds, and 3 girls were sleeping on one side of the room, and there was a guy and 2 other guys. So we're about 8 of us in the room.
Okay. Was it like bunk beds or?
No, they were just single beds.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So was it like a shock for you to see that girls and boys that don't even know themselves, are not family, were sharing the same bedroom?
It wasn't a shock to me because my elder sister had told me all of that, and I was very aware of it. She sent me pictures and all of that. So while coming, my mind was made up, and I did understand the circumstances under which people live here.
Okay, perfect. So let's go to the environment, because sometimes some people from where you're coming from, they know, okay, the UAE is in Middle East, in the heart of Sahara. So they just know, some people, even up till now, they know UAE, nothing good comes out of it.
Yeah.
So when you came, upon arrival at the airport, were you taken aback by what you saw?
When I got to the airport, nothing really shocked me about Dubai, because like I said, I had friends who had come here and they'd been sending me pictures and all that. But I did understand one thing, that the pictures they sent to me, where they took these pictures, was quite very different from where they live. Yeah, so I did understand that part of it as well. So I kept on waiting, like, okay, let me see where I end.
Okay.
And we took a taxi, and then
you saw where you ended.
Yes.
By environment, what I mean is, okay, the difference is clear as a Cameroonian when you get to Dubai. Just at the airport.
Yeah, the difference is clear.
There's a solid difference.
Yeah.
Then we bought a taxi. Just at the way the traffic is arranged, the roads are smooth. The difference is clear. That's the type of environmental shock.
Yeah. I had just one word that came to my mind at that time: organized.
Yes.
The environment was very organized, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that impression in me, and I actually saw it.
Okay.
All
right, so let's get to the small talks in the UAE. Normally, there's this phrase, right? I love love. Okay. Many people do that small phrase all the time. So I want to ask you, are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
Okay. Do you love love?
Love is beautiful when it's true.
Okay. Oh my God. See, this my Cameroonian brother has sense. Honestly, he does. There is this complaint that girls in the UAE, because as per stats, there are much more men in UAE than women. But you see ladies, especially, I'm talking about the ladies from the African descent right now, because I'm West African myself. So there's this normal complaint of there's no love in Dubai. So how true is that?
Well, from my own experience, from the people I've been with, I'm mindful of the fact also that others have had really bad experiences. Yeah, I do understand that. But from the people I've been with, I can say that there is love in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah. From my experience, I've lived with a lot of couples. I lived with my wife as well, among other couples, and we did see that exchange of love between those who were married in every accommodation we found ourselves.
Okay. So let me ask a little bit a personal question. Where did you meet your wife? Was she in? Did you meet her here in Dubai?
Okay. Strangely, that's one thing. I traveled to the UAE with my wife on the same day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys met in the UAE?
No, we traveled the same day. We were back home and we chose to come to the UAE the same day.
Oh, okay. All right. So you knew yourselves before
coming to the UAE.
Over. Okay. So let me get back to the UAE girls, because there is this lamentation that goes on that don't date any Cameroonian guy. You're Cameroonian, and is on TikTok. The Cameroonian girls on TikTok, they are saying that don't date Cameroonian boys because they would use you, dump you, and go back to Cameroon to get married. How valid is that statement?
If you'd ask me, it's a very, based on the fact that I've not really experienced that, but I've heard a lot of this happening, and I would say that everything depends on how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything depends on how it started, because we do understand that here in the UAE, there's a lot of cohabitation here in the UAE. Depending on the motive that brought you both together, it's going to tell us if you're going to end together or not.
Okay.
Yeah. So I understand that this phrase has it's becoming so much a day-to-day thing, because a lot of girls and a lot of boys got into relationships here in the UAE with motives that were not of the love background.
Yeah.
And I think that's why at the end of the day, when one of them or one party falls in love and the other has the same motive that brought them together on his mind, nothing is going to come out of that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, nothing is going to come out of that. So it all depends on what brought you both together.
Okay.
And if girls can actually go in for love genuinely, or those saying this, if they can try it genuinely, that, okay, fine, this is what I've seen, this is what I like, this is what I want to be with, and they choose it that way, then I think a lot of things will work differently for most of our girls and boys here in the UAE.
Okay, I love the word genuinely. However, I may be a girl. Let me just give a demo. I am a girl. I genuinely love you, okay?
Yeah.
And maybe you don't genuinely love me. So how would you advise that lady who genuinely loves the guy and the guy does not genuinely love her to tackle that situation at hand?
Okay, I'll go back and use your example.
Okay.
Yeah. You genuinely love me, and I do not love you genuinely.
Yes.
Okay. One thing I know about love is love grows.
Okay.
That's one thing I believe in.
Exactly, yeah.
And for love to happen, there is someone who initiates the love.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, there's this tendency for one of the parties to love more than the other, depending on where it came from.
Yeah.
However, there are situations where someone initiates and the other party loves more.
Okay.
It's very evident that if you love me genuinely, and I might have a reason why I do not love you genuinely, right?
Yeah.
I've seen people who at the end of the day, they tell the genuine person, see, this is not me.
Okay.
It depends on how. Once this person finds out that you truly love him, and it's not because of everything happening around you,
Okay.
I'm sure this can change
Okay.
his or her mind.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
And there are two things involved at this point. Either he leaves you, or he chooses to go with the plan.
Okay.
Yeah. And grows to love you as well.
All right. So
That's from my own experience. Yeah.
I understand. Okay. So as a married man, I want you to give 3 advice to the single Dubai guys, because there are guys that are genuinely searching for partners. There are guys that just want to have fun. So just throw some 3 advice over there for them.
The very first advice I'll send out to most of the Cameroonian singles, or every other person who is single out there, it's once you're getting into any relationship, be intentional.
Thank you.
That's the very first thing I'd want to say. Have a focus. And the last thing I'd say, have a plan.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you should be intentional. You should have a focus of where you're going to.
Okay.
And you have a plan.
Okay.
And I would emphasize the fact of being genuine.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you get into a relationship with a pure heart and a genuine mind, whatever has to alter at one point would come to you much earlier than you expect it to be.
That's some very good advice. Thank you, my brother, because you're talking to me as well. Okay. He's talking to me as well, actually. Okay, so this question leads us to the giant of the room of all the questions. So you would have to give us a vivid account of your experiences from when you came in to the UAE till date you seated here with me, and you have to make mention and some emphasis on the living condition, the housing, the job hunts, the employments, the visa changes, so my viewers will get to understand and pick up some very good nuggets and advice. Yeah.
Okay. So once I got into the UAE that morning, like I said, I've been this very busy guy back home.
Okay.
I hardly stayed home, even though I wasn't. When I resigned from the Baptist, I had to handle business on my own. And it was really, I was always on my heels every now and then, driving around town, looking for business, doing everything on your own, doing contracts and all of that. So when I got here, my very first day I got here, the first thing on my mind was trying to do a CV.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, I'm a computer friendly person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I do have I do understand everything working with the computer and all of that. So it wasn't really that challenging for me to get on the job search and do everything. But when I got into the bed space, I had this brother of mine. We grew up in Damukong Street together.
Okay.
He had been gone for so long. I can say nobody knew where he was apart from very close friends. And when I got here, after so many years I had not seen him, he was sleeping on the bed opposite my bed. And when he woke up, I looked at him, he was like, I'm seeing somebody who looks like him. Then I called him Young, and he was like, Very fair. I said, yeah, me. So we started talking, and from that point, people in the room started talking as well.
Okay.
Then the first thing they told me is, forget about your degree.
Okay.
Just start doing your waiter CVs, start doing your security CVs, your driver CVs if you're fortunate, and you get on the job market for hospitality. That's the easiest you can. In the same room, we had one guy working with Amazon. His salary was 3,500, and he was being looked upon as a god in that room.
Oh my God.
So with all of that, when people started saying that, I'll tell you the truth, my expectations dropped somehow.
Okay.
But I said to myself, I'm that one person with my own beliefs. And I did as they said. I made the CVs for all of this. That same morning, at about midday, some guy came to me saying that there is this urgent job. They need somebody. If you agree to the terms, you're going to pay this commission. The commission thing started. You're going to pay 1,000 dirhams, and by 5 p.m., we're going to take you to your accommodation, and tomorrow you start work. When I followed them, I followed this guy to where the person with the job was. I met them there. We discussed. Then I came back home and I told my wife that this is it. And honestly, God blessed me with a very intelligent wife and a wife that really thinks before saying what she has to say. She didn't say anything, but after some time she told me not to go for the job. And truth be told, by 5 p.m. that evening, I only discovered that was a scam.
Okay.
Then reality of Dubai set in.
Yeah.
That was when I knew what's happening here, and I think that was an eye-opener for me.
Definitely.
So I wasn't used to the normal ways of working where people have to start running for CVs and all of that. So I took out a few days. I made CVs for myself. I made CVs for my wife.
Okay.
And I started looking for email addresses. I was sending emails on a daily basis. I think I started by sending about 30 emails every day.
Okay.
And just about 2 weeks after my arrival, a hospitality company contacted us both and invited us for an interview. On that day, I think I was the only one that had a SIM card. My wife didn't have a SIM card.
Okay.
So we left, we used the metro. And then my wife stepped out at one point for some guy to get in. Then the metro closed and I had to go. So while going, I decided to drop at the next metro and wait. If it happens, she drops, or she thinks like that's what I did. So fortunately, she thought the same way I thought, and then she dropped at the next metro. Then we succeeded to make it to that interview. Everything went as planned, and then we came back home 2 days after they contacted us for a trial. Okay. We went for that trial, and about 3 days later, they sent an email. Since I was the one accessing all the emails, so I only had to inform her. They sent an email with a final interview. Okay. For me alone and not my wife. Okay. So I told her, okay, you're home. Why don't we go together? Okay. Let's go. We went for this interview. And while we were there, my wife went in and she was being given an offer for the job. Okay. Then I went in and I was denied the offer. Oh, wow. So the boss of that company advised me. He told me from the experience, he asked me a couple of questions which were not really related to why I was called. And when I gave him responses to these questions, he was like, he feels like I can have a better opportunity outside there. Okay. So what job was it? Sorry to cut you. It was a waiter job. Oh, okay. Yeah. Definitely. Sorry, I didn't mention that from the start. It was a waiter job. Okay. So my wife had that job and she had to work in Abu Dhabi. Okay. So now we had to move from one bed space here in Dubai and the next in Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Wow. So my friend, my very good friend, the one I lived with in Yaoundé, he was in Abu Dhabi. So I told him this is the situation and he told me, okay, no worries. I have this guy. I'm going to talk with him. He's going to arrange accommodation for you and just come. Okay. So on that day, fortunately, again, as God will have it, he had to come and do something in Dubai with a friend that had a car. I understand there's a crisis in Yemen. Then she told me, no, where are we going to? The crisis is not in that part of Yemen. So I had a job in Socotra. Okay. Yeah, it's a beautiful island. Okay.